Yeah, you like how I decorated the place?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I tried to go a similar vibe to the Hilton in Winnipeg.
Oh. That's what you guys are still in Winnipeg, right?
Yeah, we're gonna head to practice in a couple hours here, and then we're gonna jump on a plane over to Vancouver.
Love it. So thanks for joining us. Good to see you. And you guys picked up your third win versus Valor of the season. 2-1 win, correct, yesterday? And then you guys are prepping for your semifinal clash with Vancouver FC. So that'll be out in Langley. And I wasn't sure whether to call you, I like to call you Nate the Great, but apparently also All-State Nate is just thrown around because of your proclivity for winning goalkeeper of the month, which you did in June. So really congested schedule for you now, but we appreciate you hopping on. And just what are you thinking? And season obviously has been successful, but now you've got to manage Canadian Championship. So how do you think you guys are faring, and how are you approaching this midweek matchup?
Yeah, things have been going great, honestly. It's been a good season. We've been kind of revitalized by the coaching staff here, playing a good brand of football, and everyone's just bought in, having a good time. I mean, we've lost one game this year, so it's easy to be in a good mood, get into the stadium. And then the Cup's been great. Yeah, that's something Ottawa's always struggled with, is making a little cup run, and we've had, a fortunate draw for sure, and also we've just been performing. Beat a good York team over 2 legs, and then the tournament was always going to go through the Whitecaps as well, so we've avoided them until a potential final. So everything's coming up roses, and the only downside is we've added a couple West Coast swings, so a couple extra trips to Vancouver, which is a lot of mileage, just in a league where you're already moving around the country a lot. But it's a good problem to have, and we get the frequent flyer miles up, and hopefully get some extra lounge access.
Yeah, that's right. You gotta, maybe get a nice holiday at the end of the season on your miles. But
yeah. Always looking at the bright side.
Yeah. We were talking about referees just before you came on, and the standard of referees. As the league CPL progresses and gets better, how do you find the referees? Because they seem to be doing a better job and developing just as well as the players. So what is your feeling on that? You got to be careful here. Right?
Yeah, I know. Don't get fined.
The referees are the greatest I've ever seen, and I will say nothing else about it. No, honestly, it's difficult. Adding the NSL has made it difficult because I think the referee pool can only withhold so much, right? So I think they had to add a lot of new ones. I've seen when we were in Pacific, I saw a new guy. It was his first game. I think he did a really good job. I forget his name. But the tricky thing about the referees is, it's a great farm for MLS to steal from. So we have our top referees constantly making the jump up, and then they get to MLS, and the job's a lot easier when they get to MLS in the higher level, right? Because you have VAR to rely on. You have everything you need. And Stax, you'll agree with this. We've talked about it before. It's a little bit tricky referee or goalkeeping at a lower level. Champ versus Prem, or lower CPL or USL versus MLS, right? It's a bit more unpredictable. I think the same's true for reffing. The games, the tackles, everything is just a little bit more unpredictable. You don't have VAR, so it's a really difficult job. And they just get an earful from everyone, right? That's just the life of a referee. But yeah, of course, there's going to be days where that you miss one or two or whatever. But for me, I'm a little bit more. Sorry about that. I'm a little bit more.
Quick reflexes. It was good.
A little bit more understanding because as a goalkeeper, it's kind of the same job. It's you go out, you're trying your best, and sometimes you just end up with a little egg on your face. You do something stupid, and you don't get that moment back, right? And for a goalkeeper, you feel bad because you let your team down, but for the ref, you kind of let everyone involved down. So it's tough. It's a tough job. And like I said, as technology moves forward in VAR and all these big leagues, and then you have, newer refs reffing a lower division without VAR, it's difficult. So I do think they're doing a good job. And I do think they're constantly trying to get better, and I see that from Isaac and the whole Canada Soccer ref staff. So as long as they're heart's in the right place, they're doing the right thing, you can deal with a mistake here or there. And it's the same for everyone, I feel like.
Oh, you're saying the right things, Nate.
Yeah.
After the call, we'll talk about it.
Towing the line.
Yeah, if they give a soft penalty, you're gonna have to go to the referee and go, you know what? You should have watched Footy Prom. I was like praising you guys up there. You know what? You're crap.
No, I get along with most of them, and once in a while you give it to them a little bit, but after the game you're like, listen, hey, sorry, I saw red a little bit, but
Yeah.
I think you got it wrong or whatever, and they usually go like, yeah, maybe I'll take a look at it, and you shake hands, you move on.
You know they're not looking at it.
No, I don't even know if they heard me.
No, but without VAR, and you yourself had a little bit of an extra push or sauce after the play a few weeks ago, where you understand that there's no VAR, so are there more things that you can get away with, especially as a wily goalkeeper of 32 years old?
That looked worse on video than it actually was.
It did look bad.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as you think, but no, it's yeah. If you're a field player, goalies, I mean, eyes are on you. Like if the ball's around you, everyone sees what you're doing. So you can't get away with too much extracurriculars as a goalie, but you are protected, which is nice. But for field players, yeah, you can definitely dive into the dark arts. You can get away with a lot, and if you're smart about it, you can cause some havoc, and you can get other guys in trouble because they'll retaliate. So it definitely changes the game. And I mean, the evolution of Sergio Ramos, if you watch him early in his career or middle of his career, he was a master of it. And there's some other guys that now that VAR is around, that they just don't have that same impact.
Listen, going back to Canadian Championship, so I mentioned the victory yesterday versus Valor. So you guys have the midweek Canadian Championships, but how difficult is it to focus on that? But then also knowing with that win, you keep yourselves really tight to Forge, and you're going to be against them come Sunday. Because with the loss, you wouldn't have been able to catch them, right? But with Sunday's contest sets up as a chance for you guys to take top spot, even though you've had a very impressive season, so have they. So like, how are you guys managing both of those competitions? You address what's in front of you, but also keeping an eye on what's happening in the league.
Yeah, it's tough. My big thing, what I've been telling the guys is like, you worry about, oh my God.
Worry about keeping your phone straight.
It's a goalkeeper drill.
It's just like everything was all energy on Valor. Make sure that we get the job done, and like let the coaches do everything else. Like if you're in the 11 for Valor, it's we didn't hold back punches. We played our best group, and then get yourself recovered, and then hopefully you're in the 11 for the next one. And if you are, we got to win that. Like it is very much one game at a time. It's a great problem to have, to be in this. And then as it pertains to the league, 10 games left, we still have to play Forge twice. So honestly, even if we tie Valor, it's kind of like a who cares. You're trying to pick up as many points as possible, but you still got to, like, there's 6 point swing you can get. So nothing's going to get decided right now. You can't overthink these things. We're both in the Cup semifinals. Likely, I mean, it doesn't feel like it right now, but likely they're going to start dropping points, or we're going to start dropping points, because it's just hard to handle all the competitions. And it'll come down to the last day, I'm sure. So that was one thing I've just realized throughout my career. Generally, if you're fighting for a playoff spot, if you're fighting to win the league, whatever it is, it always comes down to the end. And one thing Jimmy always told us when I was playing for him, actually, and we were fighting to get into the playoffs in 21, was just like, try and stack up as many points as you can early, because as the season goes on, you're going to deal with injuries, you're going to deal with suspension, you're going to deal with cup runs, and it just gets a little bit more unpredictable, and it gets harder to pick up points. So that's what we've been doing. We've stacked up a bunch, and any other year, I think both of us would just be miles ahead of the competition. But we're pushing each other, making each other better, and deal with the cup, and then we get to see each other. But the unfortunate thing is, and maybe the league is listening to this one, but every time we play Forge this year, the top two teams were on short rest, both of us. So
Right.
That's a little disappointing. It'd be nice to get a full week run up for each other, and and you want to see them do well against Whitecaps. You want to see us do well in the cup, and then I think both teams are wondering if they have to rotate or how they're going to handle this. So, but I guess that's the reality of football.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it is a little different in Canada because, I mean, the size of the country, the amount of traveling you guys do, how taxing is that? And do you find that the new players find it more difficult than the older players that have had a little bit more experience with the travel and maybe be able to deal with it a little bit better?
Yeah, it's extremely hard, and like obviously we had coaches in from Madrid, and we've had this group in from Liga MX before this, so like high pedigree, know what they're doing, and like it's funny in preseason because they're great coaches and they manage everything really well, and they're like, hey, we're gonna do this, and you like look at your schedule, and like Aparicio and I are looking at it going like, all right, sure. That sounds good. And then you see them like we get in at 3:00 in the morning to Victoria, and we're in the lobby waiting for our keys, and our assistant coach is almost falling asleep, just like in zombie mode. You're like, hey, how you guys doing?
Yeah.
The head coach takes the older guys aside. He goes, this is crazy. You're like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, they've adjusted well, like quickly and well. But like a number of times just this season, they've kind of taken the old guys and gone like, okay, what are we thinking? We got to maybe take out a practice or two, or it's like, yeah. So it's different than anywhere else in the world, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And for us specifically this year, I think it was our 16th game. So halfway through the season, we had already done both of our trips to Victoria, both to Vancouver and both to Calgary. So the amount of mileage that is in a short period of time is just, it sucks, man. Your body really feels it. And maybe it's because I'm getting old, but I think everyone feels it pretty much the same.
You must be enjoying it this year, Nate. I mean, the brand of football that you're playing, you've scored 37 goals already this season. You got Salter, who's on fire, Tabla, Rodriguez, Castro in the middle. I mean, I enjoy watching you guys because you're so attack-minded and just in that final third, very creative compared to what you were last year and the way they used to play.
Yeah, it's been a joy.
Tell me the vibe and how everybody's adapting to this. And are they enjoying it?
Yeah, everyone's enjoying it. And it reminds me of what we were trying to do in 2019, where we just like the league wasn't where it needed to be. And we didn't have the caliber of players to kind of play that style, but we would still, keep the ball. We'd play out of the back. We played everything. And that's kind of where I've been at my best. I did it in my through my university career. We had a great brand of football, with you, and then I've had different spells under Bob Lilly in Pittsburgh, and then with Carlos, where it's just like very defensive minded, like almost playing in fear. So getting back to this it's been so much fun. Thanks, buddy. Brett Levi's dropped off a latte, which is just
there you go.
class from him.
Love that.
So yeah, it's been like, I always talk about this. If you play a bad brand of football and you're winning games, it's not bad, right? Like it's like, okay, we're winning, you can deal with it. But if you lose, you've got nothing to hang your hat on. There's no joy in practice. There's no joy in the games. And when you're playing bad brand of football and you see like a team that's winning a lot start to lose, you see it go downhill pretty quick because it's just not enjoyable. Now, if we're playing, like our goal is not to win or lose when we go out there and play. Our goal is to play, our brand of football and like get better every game. The wins have come with that. But even in practice, it's like we're trying to get better. We're trying to do things. So even if you're not playing, you're getting better as a footballer. And even if we're not winning, we're playing good football. So like no matter what, you can kind of like take positives, take big positives away from what we're doing. So it's easier to keep it locker room happy as well, where even the guys that haven't been playing as much, really good players as well. I'm watching them and they're night and day better than preseason, like much better. And being around guys like Castro and Zappa and like some of the young guys that have a lot of talent, you're watching them. I can see guys like watching how each other play and subconsciously just kind of like taking little bits of other guys' games, and it's making everyone better. So you see a guy that's like wasn't as comfortable on the turn in the middle of the park at the beginning of the season, and you're watching like Castro, Aparicio, David, Balu, like look, get the ball, turn, run at guys. And you're seeing guys that were never comfortable doing that in practice now doing that and adding that to their game. And you can just tell everyone's gotten better. So whether we move guys on in the off season or guys retire, who knows, right? We're going to see new players coming in that, names you probably haven't heard of come in and just make a big difference and kind of step in. And honestly, that's something I don't think they play as good of football as we're playing this year, but Forge over the last 5-6 years, they've done a great job of, right? Like Noah Jensen, for example, you know, when he came on, guys are like, oh, Forge has gotten, you know, quote unquote weaker because a young kid that we haven't heard of is playing, but he was ready and he steps in and now he's, you know, a name that we all recognize. And then they do it. That little winger they got right now, he's come in, he's been great for them. So it's, yeah, exactly. No, not Mpoma, the Masunda.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a little baller. And now that we've got our academy kind of in place, and Drew Becky was taking care of that development team last year and they did a great job. And now we have a few players from them that look amazing. Like Cloutier has been great. We have Ralph, a young striker who's going to come on the scene, and that's going to be a name you're going to want to remember. He's a serious player.
His name's just Ralph?
Yeah, we just call him Ralph. He's like no.
He's also a plumber.
You'll know when you see him. He's got a couple games.
He's a good footballer.
Man, he's going to be very, very good. He's kind of got that Mueller, like he's long and he just like swings his leg around the ball. He just smashes the ball into the corner. Like he's a great finisher, and just a good kid, like 17 years old or something. So it's fun seeing that pipeline develop that we never had, right? We didn't have Foothills, we didn't have Sigma, but now we're getting our little academy and our little pathway, and it's already paying dividends. So really good things happening at the club.
Hey, how good is Rodriguez? Because he is fun to watch.
Man, he's I like to think he's similar to like if I played as a 10, you know? Just
That's not what comes to mind for me, but okay.
No, he's amazing, and I love guys like that just, you know, he's not the biggest, he's not the strongest, he's super pacey, but he's super quick, and his feet, man, you can put 3 guys around him to try and win the ball off him, and he just comes out clean on the other side. It's like a cartoon. It's great. His finishing's clean. Like, it doesn't look like he's putting that much effort when he's trying to shoot, and it just kind of driven into the corner. Like his goal yesterday, it's almost like underneath him and just smashes it like up in top of the net. Just a really smart footballer. The nicest guy, super humble, you know, good for the locker room, good for everyone around him. And it's fun being around those guys. Like, I'm sure a few of you played with guys like that where you just every day you see it happen in preseason and you see it happen early in the season. You're like, you know, like got a bit lucky there maybe. And then you just see him do it 20, 30 times. You're like, well, I guess it's not luck. Like, I don't know how he's doing it, but man. So, and Baloo has a little bit of that in him in his own way. And David's got his own style about him. And it's nice being around these guys. We have one guy that hasn't played much at all. Make, we call him. And he's the same. I watch him in training and he just does stuff. And you're just like the technical ability of some of these guys and some of the young kids coming up is just, it's so much fun, and just like makes you smile. It makes football fun. It reminds you when you're young.
Looking on the defensive end now, Batney for me is a fantastic center back. I think he's turned into a great center back. Yeah,
he's a big reason our attack is so good.
He's so composed.
He's so composed. His decision making for a young player on the ball is high level, very high level. Yeah. When to play, recognizing kind of what the press is. That's something that we've worked a lot on as a back line, just figure out how they're going to press us and how we can kind of break them down. We've been pretty successful with that. He's a big piece of that. And then even on the fly, there's some times where, like the first time we played Forge away, the way they set up in their press was more like press the pass rather than press the ball. And he just kind of noticed that and just started driving through the middle, right? Like there's not a pass on, and then he would do that, and then someone would leave. He's committed someone and he plays it. So huge ceiling for him. Any ball playing team, any team that plays 3 in the back, I think that would love him. And then he's got a few things that he needs to add to his game. Got to get him in the gym a little bit more, and defensively maybe 1 or 2 things. But he's so young and he's doing so many good things. And you know how our defensive group, this young defensive group, has grown since the beginning of the year, where they've just continuously improved on their weaknesses and our weaknesses as a team, and myself included, where we're playing well, we're scoring goals, but we're giving up goals. And then we've gotten to a point where we got really stingy and we're still scoring goals. It's amazing to see how quick they're learning and taking what the coach is throwing at them. And You know,
Mhm.
it is Noah, but it's also Loic, it's also Tyr, it's also Sergey. Sergey's 16, just turned 17 years old. Do you remember what you guys were doing at 16 years old? Like, to be playing, you know,
Yeah, a
professional
few park
football with
benches.
men. It's crazy. I'm in the gym playing handball in first period and just like going to science class after, like, it was a joke. And he's out here playing with men, top football in Canada, and he's fitting right in and helping us win games. It's awesome to see.
There's some responsibility there on you as well, Nate. I'm sure, and I'm sure they appreciate that. But your communication with them and how they develop, when they squeeze up, when they drop off, do they lean on you quite a bit in that?
Yeah, thanks for noticing that. Yeah, all their success, I think, is thanks to me, 100%.
It's always the goalkeepers.
Yeah, definitely. The thing that's helped me the most as well is my goalkeeper coach this year is Rome. He was with Montreal the last couple of years, but had an amazing playing career. Was with Bayer Leverkusen early in his career. You know, was in the Champions League final. Was in Portugal, and then he came over to North America. Had a good long career in the NASL here, and he's been super helpful with you know, how to manage my game, but also how to help them. And then, you know, which is something I thought was already a skill of mine, or like you know, something positive about my game, is I've been pretty vocal, and I've always been able to help the guys in front of me. It's kind of I like to think it's allowed us played with younger back lines in the past. But I've made, you know, huge strides with Rome on helping them even more, and then we have a willing group like that back line, whether it's me talking to them, whether it's the head coach or the goalie coach or the assistant, like they're listening to all of it. And like our dialogue's been really good. Like they can say whatever they want to me and vice versa. Like after practice, you know, it's like, okay, we're doing this, and he's like, hey, why? You know, like we can easily, it's like, well, I don't want to do that because this is what I saw that's on. Is that we can have these conversations, and like we get stuff out of it. And that's with the coach, that's with everyone. And it's shown, like our improvement defensively, specifically from game 1 to game 15, is night and day. And that just comes from like a lot of guys pushing in the same direction, trying to make each other better, listening to each other, finding out strengths and weaknesses, and letting them working on it, you know? So I've helped them, they've helped me a ton. And then it really is like, again, Rome's done such a good job. It's been a pleasure to have him. You know, good goalkeeper coaches at you know, lower level is hard to find. A good goalkeeper coach in general, I think, is pretty hard to find. And I've been lucky, been really lucky getting him, and he's helped me a ton.
Nate, this time has just flown by, but I wanted to ask you before we say goodbye. So, like, you guys, depth of squad, great on both sides of the ball. You guys look primed to smash CPL's record for most goals in a season. I think Jimmy mentioned you're already up to 37. How does that change your mindset? Like playing different styles under different coaches, obviously adding that to your toolbox. But how much comfort and confidence that give you as the goalkeeper, backstopping everything, understanding you're good, you're solid defensively, but also that you can outscore any potential mistakes?
Yeah, that was huge, especially early in the year, because we had a few games that, like, you know, I'm not going to say we didn't deserve to win because we were doing good things, but we definitely scored our way out of some issues. And that's really uncommon in football. And it feels like when you're a goalie, you just almost think negatively. It's like, you remember all the games where you tie 0-0, you're like, can I get one? You know, like, and I've never felt that way with this team. Even our 0-0s, it's like the strikers are disappointed, and I'll be the first one to go to them and be like, hey, listen, you guys play great. You know, we didn't get one today. Don't beat yourself up. You got Salter on, you know, 13, 14 goals or whatever it is. He's like beating himself up, but he didn't score. It's just like, dude, what you're doing this year is incredible. I love that your ambition's high, but put things into context. Like, you might break the CPL record for goals. They're not going to come every game. Just like, you keep doing what you're doing. So those are it's been a joy as a back line and as a goalkeeper, of course. But like, our coach will be the first to say, and what I just said about Noah, like, he starts our attack. there's a lot of credit to that back line for the amount of goals we score and, the turnovers we cause and the transition we play when we do get those turnovers. So it really is a team effort this year. And I'm not ignorant to the fact that defensively it's everyone. The way we play, it's the way they press and the amount we keep the ball. Like, our best defensive trait is our possession. If you keep the ball for 65%, they come down, they get a good chance, they're exhausted. It's either an easier save or maybe they're missing the net. Like, those aren't stats you can really keep, and but anyone who knows football knows that. So it's been everything we're doing this year has been fun to be a part of. I feel like playing on different systems, like the 2022 team where we played almost like an Atletico Madrid, this team where we're playing like free flowing, high press and keep the ball for 65-70% of the game. It's rounded me out as a footballer. I feel like as I get older, I'm understanding the game a lot better. Able to help the people around me. I'm sure if I ever got into coaching, I'd be able to help a lot more than I would have been able to 2-3 years ago even. So it's fun learning. That's one of the things I love most about this game is every day is just learning new styles. I love goalie training because you just get better, like I like getting better at things. So that's where I find a lot of my joy, and bringing in a new coach and a new style where I'm still learning at 32 is a lot of fun.
So listen, this Wednesday, starting in Hamilton, you've got Forge versus the Whitecaps at 7 p.m. Eastern. You guys, the second matchup at 10 p.m. Eastern versus Vancouver FC out in Langley, as I mentioned. Is this the year, not only that a CPL team wins Canadian championships, but is this what you guys are gunning for?
Yeah, for sure. We've been talking about it. We've been talking about it since before the season started, and whether the whole team believed it or not, like the coaching staff believed it, and this was the goal. There's been times in my career, specifically my under 18 year, we went to the Dallas Cup. And my goal was to make the final, because in the final you play in the stadium. We ended up making the final, losing in the final, and I just remember after that tournament going like, "What a stupid goal! Like, what a stupid goal to like want to make a final." Because once you get there, you're one away. Like, you just want to win it. It doesn't matter who you're up against. So since then, it's just you want to win. All through my university career, I've won a lot of trophies in my amateur career and 1 in 22 in my pro career, and it's an amazing feeling. And if you ever get a chance, and 90 minutes, anything can happen in a game of football. So our goal is to get past Vancouver, which isn't going to be tough because they're going to dive into this cup and give us everything. And then if we can get to the final, whether it's Forge or Vancouver, our goal is to win it. And you can tell the Whitecaps are nervous watching us in Forge because they bring in Mueller. I think they have more signings coming.
That's right.
Yeah, they don't want to take any chances with us, that's for sure.
Have you been following that closely with Sun going to LAFC and Mueller to Vancouver? Obviously is part of what you guys are going to come up against potentially if you make it through this semifinal. But what do you think of those two additions? Massive signings.
Yeah, it's fun. I've been saying it for a few years. Like, I think MLS gets disrespected a lot. And even when we're talking about our young Canadian players on like where they should go, and like there's a lot of talk about Schaffelberg needs to go to Europe, and it's like, well, what league is he going to? Like, it's not necessarily better than MLS. And if you look at sports around the world and what America does with their model, MLS is going to be a top league in real soon. And the history of England and the history of Spain, Italy, like, of course, it's going to be difficult but it comes with money. If there's enough money in North America, the players are going to come here. The facilities are incredible, everything about it. And now you got the Club World Cup, which is maybe a legit tournament. We're not sure yet. But if it becomes a legitimate tournament, more so than Champions League, then it won't stop anyone from coming to North America.
Yeah. You know what made it legitimate, Nate? The purse. The amount of money that was available to those teams.
Yeah.
1,000%. We can all play pretend about like tradition and this and that, but how many players went to China when they started throwing money? How many players just went to Qatar or Saudi Arabia? Who cares? But they'll go. They'll follow the money. And I think the business model of MLS is obviously proven. And you're going to start bringing over great players. Like, there's great cities here. There's great facilities. Obviously, I was in San Diego for a month, and like, their facilities and what they're doing there is world class. Like, without a doubt, world class. And any player in the world would be happy to camp out in San Diego. I can promise you that, and play a good brand of football. So
San Diego.
Yeah, I believe it translates.
Santiago.
Whale's vagina.
So yeah, I've been following closely this year. It's probably the most MLS I've watched in a long time. I think it helped that I was in preseason there, but with how well Whitecaps are doing, and the football's just gotten way better. Like, I was watching Orlando play last night. They look really good. Like, the Leagues Cup, I actually watched a decent amount this year just because I had some free time. Good football. You know, it's fun to watch.
Mhm.
It's not just I'm not supporting it just because it's in my backyard anymore. I'm supporting it because I enjoy watching the games, and that's a huge step, and that helps us as well because we're going to try and keep up with them, and I think anything in the same continent, you're going to get lone players, and we're all helping each other out. So it's fun to be part of this landscape, especially with the World Cup coming up. It's we're in a really good place in the footballing world.
I would agree
We'll
with
get
that.
you back on when you win the Canadian Championship.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Hey, before we
cool.
let you go, Nate, and wish you best of luck here in this tough week coming up, whether it's Canadian Championships or Forge on the Sunday. News broke yesterday that Dan Jebison was injured while working with a personal trainer and will miss up to a month. He's on loan with Preston, and his manager, Paul Heckenbottom, said he's now banned players from working with personal trainers. So I wanted to know, one, your take on that. But also in the CPL, do you see guys working outside kind of the team context and the team setup there in terms of support staff, going and seeking out advice or training with other people?
Yeah. Did you see his press conference? He actually had an all-time minute and a half soundbite. The coach. Yeah. And he's just calls out the personal trainer by name. He goes, he's happy to work with all these pro players and
take their money.
Use it on his social media page and take their money. He goes, but I bet he won't post that he's out for a month. He goes, so I'll tell you. Just crushes them. And he's right. They're getting paid proper wages there. They've got, good sports medicine staff. There's absolutely no reason why you should be using your own. Or if you do, it's you bring in your guy to work with the strength coach on staff, and they make a plan together, and it all still runs through the club. That is that's basic, right? Because what sports science is doing now, it's no matter what the sport, whether it's hockey, whether it's football, guys used to play games, drink 24 beers, show up the next day, have a kickabout. But now it's every day the demands on these players are so high, and they're squeezing every bit of juice out of them. There's way more games. The international break, there's more travel. They're putting them on preseason tours. It's chaotic. It's not like what it used to be in any sport. And these kids are starting at 13, 14 in these academies. It's too much. Now for CPL, we're just in a different we're in a different league than them. While we're here, we use our people, but some teams don't have a home in the off season where they have the full staff here for the entire off season, and they can rely on a strength coach to be there for them every day. So it's not uncommon to have an off season coach or something like that. I've worked with someone in Calgary for the last 4 or 5 years with 11 Performance, and she's actually an ex-footballer, but just an unbelievable strength coach. But she'll I get her in touch with whoever our strength coach is, and they work it out. And our programs are as good as they can be. So there's a way to do it properly. But yeah, if you're in the Prem, or if you ever watch that Brady documentary, they talk about when he brought in his own guy, even at the highest level, it's a big issue. But he wasn't going off and hiding it. It was still right in front of the team. It was all had to be okayed. And only he would have been able to get away with that. No one else can do that kind of stuff at a high level. So you got to go through the right avenues. And honestly, if you're a coach and that happens, I'd be fuming as well. You're paying these guys a lot of money. You're relying on them to win games. And because they're doing something off on their own, it costs the team, and it's pretty selfish, to be honest. I wonder how that coach would feel about me working at the bar 30 hours a week, but maybe a little different.
Well, actually, I was going to ask you because of your involvement in the restaurant industry and your understanding of the varying food scenes that you walk into on travels, or whether you're at home in Ottawa. Is that maybe a conflict of interest where the manager has chosen a restaurant and you're saying, no, we need to go to this restaurant? That's maybe the same thing, but in the foodie world versus the personal training world, is it not?
Budget cuts in the CPL, Amy. We're lucky to get. We don't complain about the food we get. Don't worry. We just take what's in front of us and move on. But no, as long as it's healthy, I can't be bothered. I enjoy good food. I won't go. I'm picky where I spend my money at restaurants because there's a lot of people doing really good things. Whether it's wine, cocktails, whether it's a pub or fine dining. Like there's a good way to do everything. And I'm only going to give my money to the people doing it right, and that have good hospitality and everything else. If I'm not going to eat good food, it's going to be healthy. I'll save the unhealthy stuff for the good stuff.
And I lied. Last one for you. At the very beginning, when you were talking about how well your team was playing this year, you said coming up Roses. So was that a nod to the Montreal Roses, despite the fact that you're meant to be supporting the Ottawa Rapid?
No, it's coming up Rapid is what I meant to say. It's coming up Rapid.
Okay. Wanted to give you a chance to set that straight. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys didn't coin the phrase. You don't have discovery rights on coming up Roses.
No, we do. You owe us $400K.
Yeah, no,
yeah, right. Discovery.
What a joke.
All right, Nate, thanks so much for stopping by. We will definitely have you back, even before, hopefully, Atletico Ottawa win the Canadian Championships. You heard it here first. But I appreciate you stopping by, as always. And everybody else, like, subscribe. Check out our interview with Cara Lang last week, talking all about Sun to LAFC. A lot of our new South Korean fans have grabbed a hold of that. So we appreciate you subscribing and signing up and following Footy Prime, and keep doing so for other great interviews like this. So appreciate you, Nate, and have a great day, everybody. And broadcast will be dropping tomorrow with Liv Scott from the Ottawa Rapid FC.
It's going to be a good episode.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Cheers,
Thanks
everybody.
for having me on. Missed you guys.
Yeah. Thanks for your time, Nate.
Best of luck, Nate. Cheers for watching and listening, everybody.
Yeah.